262 Fifth Avenue is a defining symbol of New York City's ever-evolving skyline. A tower that promises to set a new standard for luxury living, but also raises some serious questions. Developed by an Israeli-Russian billionaire, this slender skyscraper is not just about its ambitious design. It's a project that's as controversial as it is exclusive. With only 26 ultra-luxury units in a city where space is at a premium, this tower has sparked backlash for its limited offerings and its role in a growing housing inequality issue. Add to that the tower's imposing presence, which threatens to block coveted views of the Empire State Building, and it's clear that this is a project that divides opinion. Today, we'll explore its design, the road to construction, and why it's becoming one of New York City's most talked about developments. The project is located at 262 Fifth Avenue in Manhattan, north of Madison Square Park and south of the Empire State Building. From 2015 to 2016, Boris Kuznets, an Israeli-Russian real estate developer, acquired the buildings at 260, 262, and 264 Fifth Avenue. They were purchased for a combined $102 million plus $6 million in air rights. In September 2016, SLCE Architects proposed a 54-story, 928-foot skyscraper, designed by the Russian firm Meganom, marking their first US project. By early 2017, Kuznets was negotiating a construction loan with Goldman Sachs, but faced delays, as demand for ultra-luxury residential towers slowed. Later that year, plans were submitted for the building, calling for 39 units, including an almost 10,000 square foot 3-story penthouse. Demolition at 262 Fifth Avenue wrapped up in September 2017, and the project was approved the following month. The official design called for up to 41 apartments, with floor heights of 47 to 52 feet and a total height of 1,009 feet, qualifying it as a super tall. By January 2019, construction stalled. In mid-2021, Kuznets sold the 260 Fifth Avenue site for $52.5 million, and excavation resumed by November 2021. Foundation work began in 2022, and from August to December, the building's height was reduced from over 1,000 feet to just 860 feet. By mid-2023, the plan was scaled down from 41 to just 26 condos. And more on the issues with this in just a minute, but let's get into the design of the tower and how construction is progressing. Topping out in April 2024, this 860-foot skyscraper stands out for its sheer slenderness. With floor plates measuring just 45 by 45 feet, it boasts a striking height-to-width ratio of 19:1, firmly placing it in the category of pencil towers. Its elevators and stairwells are housed in a western-facing mechanical core, maximizing usable space across its 139,000 square feet of residential area. Crowning the tower is a dramatic 70-foot oculus and golden arch, adding to its bold architectural statement. The building's exterior is a striking blend of aluminum and glass. Thanks to Michael Young from New York YIMBY, we can see these up-close details. On the north and south sides, floor-to-ceiling glass walls offer sweeping, unobstructed views of the city and beyond. Adding to the visual intrigue, the eastern face features intricate mosaic-like aluminum paneling that rises in 2 columns alongside the construction hoist. These panels will envelop the entire surface, framing the tower's distinctive windows. Seeing it in person really drives home just how incredibly thin this tower is. When compared to 2 of the city's most iconic super tall pencil skyscrapers, it lands right in the middle in terms of slenderness. 111 West 57th Street leads with a 24:1 ratio, while 432 Park Avenue sits at 15:1. At street level, the building will feature just under 11,000 square feet of retail space. From the original permit filed back in 2016, it was announced that above the retail space would be a floor of mechanicals and a pole gym and shared terrace on the 4th floor. Then there would be a duplex, topped by 16 stories of full-floor apartments, 4 more duplexes, and then 6 full-floor penthouses. The building would also have a shared roof deck and a 14-car garage in the cellar. Of course, this is all based off the permit, which was well before the reduction in size, but it still gives a pretty good idea of the envisioned amenities and residential offerings. Construction is on track for completion by the end of 2025, and with the Attorney General granting 5 Points Development Group approval for a spring 2025 sales launch, a detailed pitch should be expected in the coming months. In addition to this update, potential buyers or those curious can look forward to new renderings and an official price release, marking the next phase of this development. As I mentioned in the intro, many people are frustrated that this tower blocks views of the Empire State Building, specifically from key spots like Madison Square Park, which was one of the most popular vantage points. But this isn't the first time a development has sparked controversy over sightlines to New York City's most iconic tower, though in the past, some projects were outright denied for this very reason. One of the most notable examples is the proposed 15 Penn Plaza. In the early 2010s, the Empire State Building's owners launched a major effort to stop the project, arguing it would obstruct views of their landmark. They even pushed for a 17-block exclusion zone that would cap buildings' heights to preserve the Empire State Building's prominence on the skyline. While the city council initially approved the tower, it was ultimately shelved due to a combination of market conditions and intense opposition, including concerns over blocking the iconic view. And for as much as the owners pushed for it, an exclusion zone was never established. New York City's zoning regulations, originating with the 1916 zoning resolution, do require setbacks and certain design measures to ensure adequate light and air at street level, but these rules apply citywide. In an early 2024 New York Post article, an area resident expressed frustration over losing his prime view of the Empire State Building due to the new tower. But the argument is less about one resident losing their view and is more about what it symbolizes for development in the area. Locals and tourists alike have voiced their discontent. Some see it as a sign of progress, but others criticize the building's generic design, calling it a cylindrical block with little regard for the city's historic charm. To some, the tower also serves as a symbol of the growing wealth gap in the city. The structure will yield only 26 full-floor and duplex condominium units. Critics believe that having so few ultra-luxury units in a towering skyscraper represents an inefficient use of valuable urban space. This limited number of residences tends to cater exclusively to the ultra-rich, which can exacerbate housing inequality, an issue that many feel is particularly problematic in New York City. It's hard to imagine that the numbers would even align to make this development profitable, especially with just 26 units. According to a November 2023 article from The Real Deal, 5 Points Development secured a $180 million construction loan. Based on rough estimates from past projects and considering additional costs like acquisition, construction, and marketing, it's reasonable to assume the total development cost could reach around $300 million at the low end. If we value the retail portion of the tower at approximately $40 million, derived from the area's average retail price per square foot, this means the cost to develop each of the 26 units would average around $10 million. To make a healthy profit, it's likely that the units could be priced between $12 and $15 million. Of course, this is only the average and could be considerably higher or lower than this based on the size and location of each unit within the tower, but it paints a picture of the type of ultra-wealthy person it's appealing to. Keep in mind though that these numbers are purely speculative, based on assumptions and industry averages in the area. The balance of progress and preservation is a very tricky one to maneuver, especially in a city with some of the highest priced real estate in the world. It's important for New York City to continue to grow, and in some ways, more housing is always a good thing, but at the same time, it must focus on preserving its iconic architecture. What do you think about this? Feel free to share your opinion in the comments below. At Buildcore, we're building America, one story at a time. We cover some of the most impressive and headline-grabbing projects across this great country, and with your help, the channel has grown to over 30,000 subscribers in just over a year. With that being said, thank you, and I'll see you next time.